Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is going to be about WWE SmackDown. One match for the SmackDown portion of the Superstars and NXT results, and a former employee of FCW trainer is now an owner of an indie fed in the Northeast. Okay, and off we go to Wobbly Yonder. What happened after all? Thanks to .NET staffer Will Pruitt, who attended Monday's Raw in Anaheim, California, and sent the following report on what happened after the TV show ended. Foley stood up after the attack. John Cena and Kane came out for their dark match main event. Well, this was the first, I guess this is the only one. John Cena defeated Kane by disqualification as usual. Kane used a nerve hold that lasted forever as fans dueled with Cena chants. A small Cena comeback and went right back to the nerve hold. Kane eventually grabbed a chair and beat Cena in the stomach with it, triggering the disqualification. Kane's music played and he left the ring. He walked up the ramp, stopped, turned around, and went to do some more damage to Cena. Cena stood up and avoided a tombstone attempt. He performed the attitude adjustment on Kane and to send the fans home happy. Cena and Kane had a ramp to ring stare down. Cena posed for the fans as Kane left. Cena shook hands with the fans at ringside before he left, as his music played for his exit. Justin Roberts thanked everyone for coming. No return date was given for their event. Perez Hilton wrote the following on Twitter last night regarding his Raw Super Show appearance. And he said, "I love the @WWE had a big gay like myself on Progress. And Pound Wrestling is for everyone." I guess that's your trending. That's what was trending after all went off with him starting that. Well, guess what? The reason why airbourne has dropped the tag belts, well, Evan Bourne has been suspended for his second violation of the wellness policy, as he's had his second test fewer than 3 months, and he commented on his Facebook account, I believe it was earlier during that day or late Sunday night, said, "Sorry y'all." Bourne wrote on his Twitter page, "Sometimes we become our own worst enemy," unquote. Follow him at twitter.com/findevan. Well, now you basically got to find him. Bourne was suspended for 60 days as a result of the drug substance failure. He may owe a big apology to tag partner Kofi, who became a designated jobber during Bourne's last suspension. At this point, one has to wonder whether WWE officials will revert to pushing Kofi as a singles attraction again, rather than put his career on hold for the next 60 days. And JR commented on Evan Bourne's second suspension as well on JR's barbecue. Obviously, unfortunate for the talent. 2 strikes are never good. But I want to make it clear that I know zero details and only what I have read on WWE.com regarding this matter. Nonetheless, this matter is being taken seriously, and it should be, and it's terribly perplexing why a talent would travel on the same road again after it's only been, maybe 1 month since his return. And obviously that was the reason to have them lose the tag belts over the weekend, and Evan must have been tested again and failed for his left-handed cigarettes usage. I don't see this ending well for Evan Bourne as far as his WWE career is concerned. It will take a lot of time for him to win the trust back of the WWE management now that he has 2 strikes against him. Heck, there's no guarantee that'll even get an opportunity to prove himself again. As it would, as it wouldn't shock me if he were wished the best of his future endeavors after he serves his suspension. Of course, that's just speculation, and only time will tell if that will even happen. Okay. Today marks WWE Hall of Famer Howard the Finkel 35th year as a ring announcer. Finkel has an article up on WWE.com looking at his career. WWE officials are hopeful that Christian will be cleared to return from injury in time for the Royal Rumble. He has been sidelined since November 9th, 2011 due to an ankle injury. Medusa, formerly Alundra Blaze of WWE, stated Tuesday on Twitter that she plans on releasing an autobiography. The former WWE's Women's Champion also gave her approval of Kelly Kelly, writing to a fan of the diva, and quoted by saying, "Loving me some Kelly Kelly," unquote. Former WWE superstar Shad, get this now, it's a long name, Chad Javier Romain Chittick Gaspard, aka Shad, from Crime Time, was displeased at a scene he took in part for Tuesday's episode of The Game on BET was cut. While he tweeted on his comments, quote, feel like shit right now, almost punched my dog. My scene from at the game bet was cut out, and I'm pissed off, unquote. Well, Gaspard, however, finally cooled off about an hour later, and then he wrote, quote, well, my scene got cut, but I got the credit on my resume, experience that I needed, and a good friend in at Bill Woodruff, still winning, unquote. WWE Hall of Famer, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase turns 58 years old tomorrow. Well, I'm doing a video, so it's now today, being Wednesday. Rikishi was also in attendance at SmackDown's tapings, as his sons were wrestling, and so he was supporting his sons, Jay and Jimmy Uso, as they went up against the current tag team champions. And he watched their match from the luxury box. Raw Super Show on Monday, May 28, 2012, will be held at the New Orleans Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana. And you can go to ProWrestlingEvents.tk to see if there's any more future events in the Louisiana area, or any area in wherever you're viewing it in the world. Okay, hopefully normally when they have New Orleans and a show in New Orleans, they'll probably have a live event, either Tyler area, Lake Charles, Monroe, and probably Baton Rouge. As half the time we don't get Raw unless it's here at Shreveport, and SmackDown is in Bossier City. So we just have to stay tuned. Maybe May will be the next event. Former Florida Championship Wrestling trainer becomes indie promotion co-owner, and talent such as Sid Vicious, Shockmaster, Reby Sky, Papa Shango, and more from East Coast independent promotion Pro Wrestling Syndicate will also be involved. Pro Wrestling Syndicate owner Eric Tapout made the following bombshell announcement earlier today. PWS is proud to announce its new co-owner promoter, Pat Buck. Pat's background stems from multiple years as a performer for many top-name promotions, but will use his expertise to further expand the quality product that PWS brings to independent wrestling fans. Pro Wrestling Syndicate is set to present Supercard 2012 on Friday evening, March the 9th at the Rahway Rec Center on 275 East Milton Avenue in Rahway, New Jersey. This will be the first time There has been a professional wrestling event in the acclaimed building in over 1 year. The recent closing of the ECW arena should signal that building with the independent wrestling history in the Northeast are getting fewer and fewer by the year, and PWS hopes to provide fans with a fun and exciting event at the Rahway Rec Center on March 9th, with an autograph signing starting at 6 p.m. and live action kicking off at 8 p.m. Here's what's been revealed thus far for PWS Supercard 2012. Appearances by Papa Shango, The Shockmaster, Godfather, Angelina Love, Shelly Martinez, Opie and Anthony, Sam Roberts, and Hot 97's Peter Rosenberg. And here's the talent that are scheduled for the PWS Heavyweight title match. Death Machine Sami Callihan, who also wrestles for, I believe it was CZW or one of the promos that I mentioned that had their talent at the final ECW arena show. And he goes against Colt Cabana. Yeah, you know, Colt Cabana is the BFF of CM Punk. Then you got a special challenge match. Psycho Sid Vicious versus mystery opponent. Dream Fight number 1, Davey Richards versus the Barika Beast, Dan Maff. Dream Fight number 2, Necro Butcher versus the Sheik with Hall of Famer Abdullah the Butcher. PWS Tri-State title match with TNA talent Anthony Nese versus yours truly, Alex Reynolds. That's his nickname, by the way. PWS Tag Team title match. The Lone Rangers, what? Yeah, that's what it says. Well, it's not the actual Lone Ranger and Tonto. It just says Lone Rangers. And returning from legendary tag team, Powers of Pain, Warlord and Barbarian return to wrestling. Suicidal 6-way match, number 1 contenders Tri-State title, Amazing Red versus R Fox, who was also in that ECW arena final match, final arena show. Brian XL versus Devon Moore versus Gran Akuma versus Zema Ion. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a 6-way match. I've never heard of a 6-way match. You've heard of a fatal 4-way. So that seems like an interesting match. Then you got women's triple threat match. Brittany Savage versus Reby Sky. That's Matt Hardy's fiance versus Spyra Andover. I've never heard that name before, but Brittany Savage I've heard from the Shimmer organization. Strong Style Showdown. Eddie Kingston versus Kevin Matthews. Zero Gravity Battle. Brett Gakia versus CJ Esparza. And those are the matches for that advertised event. Tickets are on sale now, starting at $20, and can be purchased by calling 1-800-838-3006 or by visiting ProWrestlingSyndicate.com. Finally, what everybody's been wondering about, Superstar Spoilers only had one match, and thanks go to Joe M. and PWInsider.com for these spoilers. Well, Tamina pinned Natalya with a Superfly splash off the top rope. And now for your SmackDown and your NXT tapings first. Dark match. And, I'll go back to, thanks to Troy Ashball and Brett Bonacom. They were at the SmackDown tapings and posted the following from Las Vegas, Nevada, from the event. Dark match, Ryback, defeated Tyson Kidd. Ryback is none other than Skip Sheffield. Both men were booed during their entrances. Tyson was defeated by pinfall following a spear from Ryback. And then your NXT taping started off with a video recapping Johnny Curtis and Derek Bateman feud and then they teased the wedding. Michael Cole was brought out for the 100th episode of NXT. Match number 1, Titus O'Neil defeated Darren Young in an ODQ match. Titus dominated the whole match with slams outside the ring and assorted power moves, Darren took the advantage after a reverse suplex and hit his signature, but Titus kicked out. When Darren tried his signature again, Titus countered and hit his finisher and pinned Darren. Titus grabbed the mic and thanked the crowd for nothing. He proceeded to gain heat as he went on a tirade about his useless fans and pro Hornswoggle. He was booed out of the arena. Then they showed a Royal Rumble promo. Match number 2, Percy Watson defeated Heath Slater. This was billed as an alumni match. Following some forgettable action, Percy scored the win by a pinfall. Match number 3, Kurt Hawkins and Tyler Rex defeated Yoshitatsu and Trent Beretta. Hawkins used his cane on Beretta, which led to the pin. The Johnny Curtis and Maxine wedding started off with a mediocre Elvis impersonation. Curtis entered in a leather jacket and tuxedo shirt. Derek Bateman interrupted and revealed that he was not the one behind the email, but Curtis was. Well, the two brawled over Maxine as the crowd got a pretzel. Maxine held him and Derek ended the fight. Maxine and Derek kissed and NXT ended. So did they get married? Don't know, because they didn't say. She just kissed him and that ended the show. And now for SmackDown. January 20th episode. Results posted by Mark Middleton. He probably copied it from somebody else. Okay, yeah, he sure did. He actually thanked to Mary and Trevor for the following SmackDown spoilers from Tuesday night tapings in Las Vegas. Dark match, Ryback, a.k.a. Skip Sheffield, beat Tyson Kidd. And then you got SmackDown airing from Friday. World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan opened the show and runs down Big Show again for what he did last week. The crowd boos Bryan as he cuts a promo and says Big Show should quit. And that was the end of that segment. And the Continental Champion Cody Rhodes versus Hornswoggle was up next. But Jessica Gabriel comes out to defend Hornswoggle, and it's Gabriel versus Rhodes. Rhodes gets a win. And you have the first roulette segment is up with Mark Henry in the back. He spins and the match against Daniel Bryan tonight for the world title will be a lumberjack match. WWE Tag Team Champions Primo and Epico beat the Usos in the next match. So I guess the spin-off only had one spin-off for the roulette wheel. Well, then you had a boring dance-off between Vicky Guerrero and Brodus Clay actually took place. Well, obviously Clay won, and Vicky tried to make up for her poor performance, but William Regal comes out and save her the embarrassment by walking her away. Clay takes it the wrong way and disses Regal. Clay challenges Regal to a dance-off, but when Regal dances, Clay runs him over. Clay ends the segment with a celebration in the ring. Well, they actually had another Raw Roulette match. Raw Roulette. It's now the SmackDown Roulette. Sheamus faces Wade Barrett in a tables match, as it landed on tables match. Well, Jinder Mahal comes out, which leads to Barrett putting Sheamus through the table for the win. After the match, Mahal attacks Sheamus, but gets put through another table. Next up was Ted DiBiase versus Hunico in a flag match was up next. DiBiase got the win after retrieving the U.S. flag. Backstage segment with Drew McIntyre and Teddy Long. Teddy fires Drew. Teddy's assistant, Santino Marella, asks for Drew to be rehired and challenges him to a match. They do the SmackDown roulette wheel, and it's a blindfold match. Drew isn't fired if he wins. Santino Marella beats Drew in a blindfold match with the Cobra. And your main event, lumberjack match for the World Heavyweight title between Mark Henry and Daniel Bryan ends up in a no contest. After when all the lumberjacks attack both of them and Bryan walks out of the match. Lumberjacks start brawling and Henry escapes as well. Sheamus cleans house to end the show, and it ends with him standing alone in the ring. So I guess what this ends up as is a battle royal instead of your match. And that ends my report for this week on SmackDown, NXT, and Superstars. Thanks again, and stay tuned next Monday for Raw and the rest of the week.